Hi, welcome back to my channel. So in today's short video, I'm going to be updating you on my skincare routine. I recently did a video about my minimalist hair care routine, and I mentioned in that video that I would also update you on my skincare routine. So that's what we're going to be doing today. It's very minimalist, there's not very many products to show you, similarly to my hair care routine. In fact, there's only really one product that I regularly use on my skin at all. So hopefully a short and sweet video. So let's just jump right into it. Just a small disclaimer before we get started. This video is just about my own personal experience, my own journey with my own skincare. Obviously everybody's skin and circumstances, lifestyle, environment, they're all different. So if this video does give you some inspiration or some tips or some help, if maybe you're interested in a more minimalist skincare routine, or you're interested in how to care for your skin in a more natural way, then hopefully this video will help. But like I say, please bear in mind, obviously everybody's circumstances, skin, environment, etc. are all different. So this is just purely based on my own experience. Okay, so I'm not going to drag it out, I'm just going to jump straight in with pretty much the only product that I use on my skin nowadays, and it's in this tiny little bottle here, which comes with a pipette or a dropper, and this is olive oil. Extra virgin organic olive oil is the only thing that I use on my skin nowadays on a regular basis. So this replaces all moisturisers, lotions, creams, the whole lot. This is the only thing that I use. So this has been a regular routine of mine now for, I'd say, about 18 months consistently. Prior to that, when my eco journey, as I call it, first started about 5-6 years ago, I sort of went through a trial and error phase of getting rid of or using up my mainstream conventional products, and then went through a trial and error phase of alternatives, basically to moisturisers and lotions, natural alternatives. And argan oil became my go-to, my moisturiser of choice. It worked really well. I didn't have any issues. I didn't have any breakouts or flare-ups with it, to my surprise. And so argan oil was the moisturiser of choice for many years for me. And then about 2 years ago, I really started to minimise my life in general even more. So whether that was products that I use for cleaning, in the kitchen, bathroom, skincare, hair care, clothing, the whole lot, I really started to pare back what I owned and what I used in general. And it sort of dawned on me that argan oil was only being used for my skin. I mean, occasionally I might have rubbed it through my hair, but I wasn't using it for anything else. Whereas the other products in my home and in my bathroom in general are versatile and multi-use. So I thought, well, isn't there something else that I could use on my skin that I am also regularly using elsewhere? And olive oil became the obvious answer because it's the only oil that I use for cooking. So I researched it, and as it turns out, olive oil is known for being a really good moisturising alternative. It's been used for centuries and centuries in historic skincare, in all different parts of the world. So it wasn't like some new radical thing that I had in my home that I thought, oh, let's just put that on my skin. So yeah, it turns out that it is a very popular alternative, not necessarily in modern Western day society, but olive oil has been used for centuries, and it's very revered, is that the right word? It's highly spoken of, and it's really recommended. So I thought, let's give it a go. I do have very sensitive skin, so I was a little bit cautious about trying it out, but I was already using argan oil for several years consistently, and I had no issues with that. And the first time I applied it to my skin, I waited and nothing happened. The next day, nothing happened. In fact, my skin looked brighter, even clearer. And so I was so excited, I was jumping for joy, because the argan oil could now be a thing of the past. I didn't have to buy it anymore just for that purpose, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's now the only thing that I use on my skin, because it happens to be also the only oil that I use for cooking. So it meant that I didn't have to buy an additional product that could only be used for one thing, if that makes sense. Now, some people might be watching this and thinking, well, that sounds a bit extreme. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with just buying a little bottle of argan oil and using that to care for your skin. There's nothing wrong with it. Argan oil was fantastic and did work really well. And when I originally changed my routine to olive oil, I thought, well, what's the word? Why look a gift horse in the mouth? I think that's the right expression. You know, why fix something that's not broken? If it works on your skin and your skin has a tendency to be very sensitive and to react to things, why change it? But anyway, thankfully, it worked out well. So argan oil then became a product that I didn't have to purchase, and I just basically top this little bottle up with the oil that's in my kitchen cupboard. Again, that might sound extreme, that might sound, I don't know, maybe even gross to some people, but it's in a dark amber glass bottle. It's high quality, it's the highest quality that I can get hold of locally. The olives are all from the same region, so not from different regions, let alone from different countries, and it's an organic oil with, I think, is it PGI certification, so the area where the olives are grown are protected. Basically, it's the highest quality oil that you can get within reason, you know, of where I live. So yeah, I'm not just slathering any random olive oil on my face. Like I briefly mentioned just a moment ago, I have super sensitive skin, and I also have lupus. So lupus comes in various forms. Unfortunately, it manifests itself in different ways. Some is rheumatoid lupus. My lupus is cutaneous, so it flares up through my skin. And unfortunately, it's mostly triggered by the sun, but also by stress. So anything that I put on my skin, even though lupus is a separate condition, that's separate from having sensitive skin, if that makes sense, it's sort of two separate things, unfortunately. It's still something I have to be aware of when I introduce anything or put anything on my skin, basically. So my experience with olive oil, the reason that I praise it so highly and I am so happy with it is because I have had problematic skin sort of on and off throughout my life. I didn't have acne as a child, but what has become apparent to me now as an adult is that my skin has always broken out predominantly through stress, hormones, emotional circumstances, and also what I was eating and sort of the general things that I was using on or around my skin, if that makes sense. So like I said at the start with my small disclaimer, this might not be for everyone. I will say that my skin has massively improved over the years because of going vegan, so particularly not consuming dairy anymore, not using toxic mainstream laundry products, for example, and not wearing makeup anymore. That's also a huge thing that I wanted to mention in this video, which is quite significant, is that I don't wear makeup anymore. So I guess about 6 years ago, and particularly 10 plus years ago, I wore makeup every single day. I wouldn't leave the house without makeup on. And then as the years have gone on, in the last, I'd say 5 years consistently, I've stopped wearing makeup altogether. So maybe once a year, I might put a little bit of mascara on, I might put some lippy on, maybe for a special occasion, but most days of the year, maybe apart from 1 or 2, I don't wear any makeup anymore. So that's also had an impact on my skin in general, the health of my skin, how clear my skin is, which reminds me there might be a small mark, I think it's on this side up here, that you might be able to see, and possibly here as well. And you might be thinking, she's advertising to use olive oil on your skin and how amazing it is and how it cleared her skin up, and yet I can see, yeah, so these are lupus scars. It's completely unrelated to the olive oil. So yeah, I'm super excited to share this with you, mainly because I have had such problematic skin over the years. Also having lupus means I have to be really careful in general. And on that subject of lupus, I don't go out in the sun when I've applied olive oil to my skin. So if you've watched my hair care video, the one that I last did, you will have seen that I only wash my hair once a week. So I tend to only apply this, and I apply quite a lot of it when I come out the shower with damp skin. That's really important. So I apply this on damp skin as soon as I've got out the shower. It helps it to absorb better. And then I go to sleep, and then in the morning my skin is all nice and dewy, I think is the right word, and clear. It's just amazing considering the problems I've had with my skin. It really is amazing. But my point is that I don't apply it every day. So if during the week before I get to my next hair wash day, I find that my skin needs a little bit of attention, then I will apply a little bit more before bed, but I won't apply it during the day, or let's say in the morning and then go out in the sun. That would be like putting my face in an air fryer. So yeah, just a word of caution. Obviously, as you can probably tell, I have I'm a natural redhead, very fair skin, very pale, so I sort of was born with sensitive skin off the bat, really. So I do have to be careful. And like I said at the start, you know, everybody's skin and everybody's environment is different. It's definitely not a case of I just started using olive oil on my skin and it solved all my problems. Environmental factors had to do with it, sort of stress levels over the years, and what I consume, mostly what you eat, will manifest itself through your skin, and dairy is known, it's renowned for being problematic for that, for example. And like I said, laundry products, just generally things that you're using around the home that come into contact with your skin. And also trying not to touch my face anymore as much as I used to. So when I was younger, I used to be a real picker, and it's left a lot of scarring. I went through a lot of trauma as a child, which now I realise was a sort of anxiety thing. So also not touching my skin has a part to play in my skin clearing up. But yes, since I have stopped touching my skin, stopped overwashing it, stopped using conventional mainstream moisturisers, lotions, and all the products that we are brainwashed, particularly as women, brainwashed into thinking that we need, actually I have noticed that since I've stopped using all of those products and left my skin alone, and also I don't wash it every day. Again, some people might hear this and think that sounds absolutely gross. But when I wash my face, it makes it drier and then it makes it break out more. And what often happens, and it's not the same for everybody, but what often happens is we then get into a bit of a cycle. Much like how I shared about my hair care routine, the whole overwashing your hair and then finding yourself in a greasy hair cycle. The same thing with your skin. Your skin has the ability to sort of heal and moisturize itself pretty much on its own every day. There are environmental factors that obviously affect that. So unfortunately, I live in the UK and about 6 months of the year it's cold and my skin is very dry. And as much as I'm praising leaving your skin alone, I do still get dry skin, even though I'm using natural olive oil and I'm not touching it. But overwashing it, and I mean even just water only, it makes my skin really dry and then I break out. And then in a way, adding more oil or moisturizer to my skin sort of makes it worse, because then it clogs my pores up. So I've actually found, as gross as this may sound to some people, I've actually found that not washing my face every day really, really helps to keep it clear, and it sort of just does its own thing. I do like to steam over a boiling hot bowl of water occasionally, and then just give that a rinse with cold water. And then while it's damp, apply some olive oil. So maybe I'll do that in between hair washes, if that makes sense. But genuinely, my experience is leaving my skin alone and not washing it every day and not even going near it with water every day has actually really, really helped. So yeah, that's pretty much, I think that's a lot longer than I intended to talk about the olive oil, but it's also giving you a sort of background of the journey. So it's not me just coming on camera and saying, look, put olive oil on your skin and it will solve all of your problems. You know, there are other factors and other things going on and that have happened on the journey that have got me to the point where I can just use olive oil on its own. And now to wrap this video up, I'm just going to show you a couple of things that I use occasionally. So when I do my hair wash day and then I come out, like I said, and put the olive oil on damp skin and really coat the skin. Well, not coat, but yeah, I put a good couple of drops on each area. What I use in the shower to exfoliate or clean my skin is this really basic, reusable, washable, what is that noise? I think that might be my boiler just randomly turning on, sorry. This reusable, washable makeup remover pad. So it came in this cute little bag here. I bought this bag about 5-6 years ago, and this is the only one that I've used. This is part of the reason why I love sort of low waste sustainable lifestyles, is that the money, not only the money that you save, but just being able to reuse and wash things really means you don't have to buy a lot of products and stuff, basically. So yes, this is from this pack. I bought this from Holland & Barrett like 6 years ago. I don't really get things from them anymore, but yeah, this bag has still got all of the pads in it, and that's what I use in the shower to just really gently exfoliate my skin on hair wash days. And I will apply some of this authentic traditional Marseille soap, it's called, so it's from Marseille in France. It's just olive oil soap, pure natural I've raved all about it on my channel before. I think the last reel I did is all about this soap, so definitely go and check that out. I love the smell. I think some people might find it odd, but yes, this is, I mentioned in my hair care video, I occasionally use this on my hair as well. So this is my general body soap, body wash, shower gel. And I also put a tiny bit on a wet, reusable makeup pad. I mean, it's called a makeup pad, but I obviously don't wear makeup, so I don't use it for that reason. And yeah, I just gently, exfoliate my face with the soap. Now, a couple of years ago, if you'd have told me to use soap on my face, I would have been horrified, because I have generally quite dry skin and sensitive skin, so using soap seems like the complete opposite thing of what you would want to use on your skin. But again, it actually really, really works. This has no preservatives, no added nasties, nothing else in it that's unnatural or that could potentially be toxic. For me personally, it's a completely natural soap. It's really high quality, and it's the only thing that I can use to actually wash my face with. And so yeah, in combination with the oil, the soap, and my little reusable washable makeup pad, that's my weekly routine basically. But in terms of products that I actually put and leave on my skin, it's just the olive oil. So just briefly, I'll show you the olive oil that I buy. Not sponsored, obviously, not affiliated with them in any way. This is just an olive oil that Sainsbury's, which is a typical supermarket here in the UK, happen to stock. There are definitely better quality olive oils out there, but again, from a financial and minimalist perspective, that's where I currently do my weekly shopping, and so it makes sense to source it from there rather than having to source it from somewhere else. So it's called Odysseia, I think it's pronounced. I'm hoping you can see it on camera. So it's organic Greek extra virgin olive oil from Crete. So the olives are only from the Chania area. It's protected geographical indication certification. I messed that up a bit. And it's, yeah, organic. So all of the oils are from the same region, which is quite important to me. So this is the olive oil that I use daily in the kitchen, and that's, just wanted to show you what olive oil I was referring to that I top up in my little bottle. And so lastly, just a couple of other things that I very occasionally use on my skin. I have a few natural, toxic-free sunscreens, couldn't think of the word then, and also a sunblock stick here as well from the brand Sense Skincare. They're a really good brand, and I also have their little lip balm. I only use this during winter time because I find that the consistency of this works better on chapped and dry lips as opposed to the olive oil. Occasionally I will use this mostly on my nose because my nose is very damaged permanently from the sun, and sometimes I'll use these as well. On the subject of skincare, and I don't want everybody to go mad in the comments section, I don't apply sunscreen every day all over my skin. And I know, having just said that I have lupus and obviously I've got very fair sensitive skin, I know that that is going to sound very controversial. I prefer to just wear a large brimmed hat, I think it's called, brimmed? Yeah. Wide brim, large brim hat, long sleeve clothing, so long sleeve shirts, long sleeve trousers, and sit in the shade. That is how I protect my skin from the sun. I find that having to lather my skin in sun cream, because I wouldn't obviously choose conventional mainstream sunscreen nowadays, I would choose, what's it called, I can't think of the word, but yeah, basically reef safe natural, is it I can't remember the ingredient that's in there, but this video wasn't supposed to be about sunscreen. So yeah, rather than slathering that all over my skin every day and then going out in the sun, I prefer to just wear long clothing. So I don't have my body or skin exposed to the sun. I predominantly spend my time in the shade if I am outdoors in the sun, and I always wear a hat, which isn't something I used to do. So just for me personally, I know that that will sound very controversial, but actually covering my skin and particularly my face in sunscreen, even if it's these natural ones, makes my skin break out and it clogs up my pores. I would then have to really cleanse and wash my face thoroughly every day after I'd put all the sunscreen on, which then in turn, as I just explained, would make my skin really dry, and then I'd be adding more oil. So basically I've just found that staying in the shade, always wearing a hat, I don't spend any more than 15 minutes yeah, 20 minutes fully exposed in the sun. So, and a tiny bit of sun is actually healthy from a vitamin D point of view, and just in general for, you know, mental health and well-being. So I don't expose myself directly and consistently in the sun for longer than, let's say, 15-20 minutes. So the rest of the time I'm always in the shade. I always wear a hat. I always wear good quality sunglasses as well, and I always wear long sleeve clothing. And then when the sun goes down, so depending where you are in the world, let's say here in the UK, past 6 or 7 in the height of the summer when we actually get some nice weather, then I would potentially take my hat off, take long sleeves off, and potentially sit in a, I don't know, a shorter top or something. But yeah, I know that might cause some controversy. I'm not, you know, medically qualified. Don't just do what I'm saying. This is just my own personal experience. I find that covering myself in sun cream, which also gets all over your clothes and it's sticky, and particularly on my face, it then actually creates more problems with my skin than just sitting in the shade and wearing long clothing. So yes, I didn't intend to go into so much detail about the other small products. But yeah, to basically wrap this video up, there are the couple of things that I occasionally use, and my soap maybe once a week with my little exfoliating reusable pad. It's a gentle cotton pad, but it just happens to exfoliate my skin enough that it's gentle, but it also gives it a good clean. And then, yeah, my little trusty bottle of olive oil. Okay, so that's it guys. I did try and keep the video short and sweet. I did say at the beginning it was going to be a short video. I'm not quite sure whether it has turned out to be super short, but yeah, I thought whilst I was doing a video about my olive oil on my skin, I might as well mention the other products as well, and the fact that I don't wear makeup anymore, and all the other sort of factors as well that have played a role in my recent skincare routine that I'm now really happy with and definitely won't be changing. So I hope that this video might have given you some inspiration, hopefully helped you if you're interested in more natural skincare or how to move away from conventional mainstream products. I will say that if you are wanting to move to more natural, sustainable, minimalist skincare products, that you should use up what you have first rather than just throwing it all in the bin. That wouldn't be very sustainable. And then as you're using those things up, if you've already decided that you want to move towards more natural products, then do your research during that time as you're using those products up, and then gradually, gently move on to more natural products. Just because something's natural, so I will say that it doesn't necessarily mean that it will work. I, for example, invested in lavender water a couple of years ago, completely natural, 100% natural, and I used it on my, I think it was my face, and I came out in a massive red rash. That's just me. Again, I have very sensitive skin, so that's sort of why I praise the olive oil routine so much, because I'm surprised that it doesn't have any negative effect on my skin. I'll be honest, pretty much everything I put on my skin comes out in a rash, or, you know, reacts, or I break out, or it causes pimples or whatever. So yeah, not necessarily everything that's natural will automatically work or be better. So just hopefully use this video as inspiration. If you are interested in more natural, minimalist, sustainable ways of living, then just gradually get rid, and this applies to any area of your life, just gradually get rid of things. Don't just throw them in the bin and then go out and buy things that look eco-friendly. Make sure to do your research, and yeah, hopefully this video has given you some help, inspiration, tips, tricks. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. I do apologise if it's gone on a little bit longer than I intended, and also hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. As a small content creator, I really appreciate your support. It really means a lot to me. And let me know in the comments if there's anything else that you'd like to know, if you feel there's anything I missed out, if you feel there's anything I could improve on in my videos. I am still a work in progress, and I'm very open to constructive, helpful feedback, and anything else you might want to share with anybody in the comments. I do my best to get back to you as quickly as possible. And also hit that notification bell so that you can keep up to date with any new videos. In the meantime, take care and stay safe. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.